Kolbrin Bible, Book 2, Chapter 15, verses 23, 24, 26, and 27. Those God is seeking. Included was verse 154 and 61. Kolbrin Bible, Book 2, Gleanings, Chapter 15, The Voice of God. GLN 15:1. The voice of God came out of the heavens unto his servants, even before the days of Wunis. But in these days it has come to certain of his devoted ones who heard it within the cavern of visions. Afterwards each wrote it down according to his own hearing, and lo, when they came together, it was seen that each had recorded the same words. Thus the things which were heard by the three and set down by them in writing, all being agreed alike, are things recorded forever. If your intent is service to God, it entails more than worship and empty words. Service to God is to improve yourself, and by doing so, improve the earthly existence of humanity. GLN 1522. They who devote their lives to my service must do more than love and worship me, for such service entails the elevation of mankind, the spreading of good and the combating of evil. They must not only fight against the ungodly, but also overcome the wickedness swelling up in their own thoughts. They who love me desire the well-being of all men, and their souls are filled with harmony and peace. Dearer to me than their love for me is the labor and tribulations of those who serve me. I am their end. I am never the God of inertia, but the God of effort. If you offer no more than deeds done in my service or in conformity with my design, then you serve me adequately. Man's will is rarely in accordance with God's agenda, so he will seek out those who can offer guidance and assistance. These will be men of goodwill, and they will need to be strong of will to stay steady, whether through hardships or easy times. GLN 1523. However, too rarely do the ways of men conform to my plan, and the ranks of those who serve are too thin. Therefore, I shall call forth leaders from among men and send out the clarion cry to service. I shall seek out men who will serve me diligently and loyally. They will be men of good will who are of a friendly nature. They will be kind and compassionate men who can love deeply and truly, whose steadfastness is the same in pleasure and affliction, whose resolve remains equally unbroken in the sweet embrace of good fortune as under the harsh blows of misfortune. I will send men who are fair and just, proud and resolute, but these qualities mean nothing unless they also have courage and resolution, fortitude and tenacity. GLN 1524. I shall seek the man who is himself ever seeking, who seeks to unravel the riddle of life, one whose determination is strong, who detests wickedness and delights in the good, whose heart and inner vision reach out for enlightenment. His tranquility will remain unshaken under stress, and within his heart will be a haven of peace beyond the reach of excitement and anger. He will be a lover of wisdom and seeker of truth, he who is wise, he who knows what to do, who remains calm when others lose their self-control, he who is clear-headed under stress, who enjoys the challenge of the task. That man is mine. He who labors uncomplainingly, who disdains to satisfy deforming lusts, whose spirit remains the same under the temptations of honors or the pressure of disgrace. He who is free from the shackles of unworthy earthly attachments, who retains his balance under praise or blames, who can shoulder his own burdens, whose spirit is calm, silent, and strong under all circumstances. He who can bear the responsibilities of life and the obligations of love. That man is mine. I am the God of inspiration. I am the God of love. Seeking knowledge is most important to nourishment of the soul. GLN 1526. Men must nourish their spirit and sustain it with spiritual fare. They must also learn that the spirit is not something separate from man, or something within him. Man is spirit, man is soul. There is no need to engage in long-winded empty discussions about faraway things lying beyond the reach and understanding of men. To know the reality of the spirit and to establish the existence of the soul, man is only to delve within his nature, to seek within himself. The spiritual part of man is not a mysterious something outside his being or a thing difficult to understand. To discover it requires no more than the effort of seeking. Laws and restrictions should be to encourage self-discipline and should not be overly restrictive. How can someone learn if they're not allowed to first make a mistake? GLN 1527. Men with sincere hearts seeking a path ask for a starting point. However, for most, the key is self-discipline, and this is the reason for many laws and restrictions. But these must never be unnecessarily restrictive. Each must have a definite purpose and beneficial end. Obscure though these may be, the means for overcoming unwholesome desires and for harmonizing with the divine chord lie within the reach of all, but effort must be expended in their cultivation. If the end is great beyond man's conception, it is no less true that the task before man is arduous and difficult in the extreme. To master himself and gain complete self-control is no more than the first step along the path. A desire to learn, self-discipline, is the easiest way to gaining wisdom and nourishment of humanity's soul. Arrogance, even from those who truly care, will never serve God's purpose, to lead people through guidance to communing with God within themselves. GLN 1554. These are divine things, yet they can be set down only in the mere words of men, and will thus be reduced to things of mortal frailty. Mere words will be read, and the pattern formed by them will be far short of truth and reality. The taste of a fruit or the fragrance of a flower cannot be known by reading about them. The fruit must be eaten, and the flower smelt. Only in union with me, spirit communicating with spirit, can proof of my reality be found. Yet, because things are as they are, truth must ever be veiled from man, as man. But who would labor if laborers were paid whether they worked or not? Were they revealed to him, the ignorant man would not comprehend great things. Therefore, the light is not for him. The insincere and shallow seeker after diversion and pleasure will find little entertainment in these words. The really illuminated man will already know something of the truth and will therefore seek it more diligently along a higher path. So these words are given just for those sincere seekers who are aware of their own shortcomings and ignorance. These will be people whose thoughts are not smothered by prejudice, who are not set in their opinions, for who among men is the most confirmed in his opinions, who states things in the most assertive manner and talks with the loudest voice? Is it not the most ignorant? I would not let the sincere seeker go unguided. I am the light on the path. GLN 1561. Would you know the ultimate state of man when he has finally reached his goal? When he has entered into his inheritance of divinity? It is a state of glory transcending anything conceivable by him during an earthbound existence. His consciousness expands to embrace everything, all that ever was or will be. He sees all, he knows all, he is in all, and he contains all. These things come to him through infinite powers of perception. Yet he is above all such powers, he is beyond all, yet within all, he is beyond the realm of matter, freed from all restrictions. Yet he is not denied its joys, and may, if he so desires, manifest again in matter. His thoughts have the power of creation. He is one with the light of lights, the light transcending vision. He is the partaker of my substance, my son in eternity, the inheritor of everlasting life. I am your God, the Father of man. Having said this is my opinion that I gained from reading verses. If it agrees with yours, great. But I am not saying it is only or the best path, since only you can answer that. As for the age of the text, I do not need for an age test. The words have value, no matter if God spoke them or man wrote them.